Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna try something a little different today, and it's pretty fun. I was looking at some games, and this the thought popped into my head. I saw two players um, playing a certain line, and they both had good attacking games. And the thought was, I started thinking, like, man, who played that attack better? So I'm gonna show these games to the audience, and you let me know who you thought, had the better attack. So I'm just gonna do light analysis. I'm not gonna go deep into the lines, and I'm gonna show you two short games. The games are gonna be short, and the first game is gonna be a game between the former French number one, Etienne Bacrot, and with the white pieces, and he's going to be playing against Michael Adams. And then the second game I'm going to show you is again Etienne Bacrot with the white pieces, and versus Viswanathan Anand with the black pieces. And again, it's going to be the same line in general. Um, but and then you tell me who played the better attack. Was it Michael Adams, or who played the better game in your opinion? Was it Michael Adams, or was it Vishy Anand? So the first game is again um, Etienne Bacrot with the white pieces versus Michael Adams with the black pieces. The game started off D4, knight f6 from Adams, C4, E6. Adams, a long-time nmzo Indian player, bishop B4, and knight f3, B6, bishop D5, classical approach, bishop B7, E3, H6, bishop H4 by Bacrot, and now Adams defines the pawn structure. Bishop takes c3, b takes c3, and now d6. So a common theme is basically getting rid of the dark square bishop and then then putting your pawns on the dark squares to take their place. Knight to d2. And now there's a severe battle going on for e4. So g5 breaking the influence of the bishop. Bishop g3. And now knight c6. And if e4 here, then black can simply just castle and then play e4 himself at some time. e5, excuse me. The knight c6, h4, rook g8, h takes from Adams. And now we see Bacrot with this open G file. So far so good. He plays rook h6, attacking the knight. Queen e7. And of course, Adams wants to go over here. Queen f3. Rook g6 from Adams. Rook takes. F takes. Bishop d3 castles. And now queen e2. Rook h8. Castles from Bacrot. Now rook h6. f3. King safety. Bishop f2. And now e5 from Adams. g4. And now d5, breaking in the center. King to b2 and rook h2. Queen f1. D takes. And now the bishop takes here. Perfectly playable was, and safer perhaps, was bishop takes c4. But he takes this pawn, figuring, hey, I got two pieces here, so I can get that later. However, surprise, surprise, the knight d5, bishop g1, the rook here does not move, but Adams played the move e takes d4. with that threat. So he can't take this rook. E takes d4. Then he simply played rook e2. And the game was over. Bacrot was forced to resign here. And the problem here is this knight is going to go here to f4 and make its way into the position. So let's see what we can do here. It's very hard for white to move here. The king is guarding. Let's get rid of that. The e takes d4. Rook e2. It's very difficult. The king has to protect here. This rook is protecting here. So let's just trying to think. Let's throw a random move in here. Let's just put the bishop here for argument's sake, just so you can see. After bishop f5, for instance, and simply just knight takes c3. This will lead to mate as the king is just forced out into the open. All right, king c2, knight b4, king b1, and so on. So that's the major problem there, is this threat of knight takes there. There's really nothing that black can do about it. Excuse me, white can do about it. Of course, if he plays rook c1, you got to deal with that. Black's position is so powerful, he doesn't even have to take the knight, but he can just play that first, hitting this bishop. And again, if the bishop tries to preserve itself, moves like knight b4 is very difficult. If he takes, then the queen comes rushing in. So this is why Bacrot resigned after rook e2. It's just too much in the position, and it's beautiful game to me because it's just that Adams is basically just frozen White's assets in this position, to where he's like he's literally paralyzed. He has a lot of pieces on the board, and his king doesn't look like it's in immediate danger, but he's just totally paralyzed. All right, now our next game, same variation. Bacrot again with the white pieces, and this time versus Bacrot Anand. This game is from the Corsica Masters 2001. So d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4, same line, knight f3, and Anand plays c5. Remember, Adams played move b6. He opted for b6. So c5, g3, c takes, knight takes, castles, bishop g2, and d5. So getting that equality in there. C takes, knight takes. Remember, this guy's pinned. And queen b3. So c5 is very solid, respected line. Knight comes out, knight takes, and this is really, White's target here is down this diagonal on the queen side. Black has this isolated c pawn, and White hopes to be able to, build his game around that weakness. So castles, queen to a5. Bishop d2, bishop takes c3, b takes c3, and now bishop a6. And now we have total symmetry and total equality. Black just has this little nudge right here on this pawn. And I'm sorry, not rook fe1, but Bacrot here played rook fd1, leaving the pawn. And the idea is, it's like a setup. If bishop takes e2, then c4. Bishop takes. Queen takes. And if the knight goes somewhere, let's say here or something like that, then the queen will be attacked. So that means queen has to move. Of course, if knight there, then just a3. And so white takes the bishop here, versus the rook. So white would be a little better there. So that was the idea behind playing rook fd1 to set a little trap. Of course, Anand saw past it and just played queen c5. Now e4, knight b6, bishop e3 from Bacrot, queen h5, and the position is very symmetrical. And when you have these symmetrical positions, really the whoever's gonna win the game is just based on somebody grabbing an initiative in the position. Bacrot plays rook d6, and now knight c4 from Anand, putting position over material. He's willing to jettison this pawn. Rook takes c6 for a superior position, and pawn grabbing. Oh, that's what happens. He grabs on c6, and now Anand takes. Knight takes e3. Rook takes a6. Now rook a b8. Queen a4. Anand plays rook b2. Very, very powerful move. But Bacrot might have overlooked that. Of course, if he takes f takes e3, then the queen comes here. There's no protection. Plays rook e1. And then the tiger from Madras played queen e2. Right? And then the nuclear explosion blew the chessboard away. And that was it. Bacrot resigned. Of course, here's the main threat right here. And yeah, just have old-fashioned back rank issues. If rook takes, and you can figure out what happens after that. So anyway, get back to me. I hope you enjoyed those two games, Etienne Bacrot versus Bacrot-Adams, and Bacrot versus Anand. And then your opinion, which game you thought was better, or who you thought played it better? Which game would you, if you could put yourself in one of those games, which one would you have picked? All right. Look forward to hearing from you. And if you like the videos, please subscribe, make comments, etc. And I appreciate it very much. Talk to you on the next video.